hair is crazy. And the reason that this happens, from what I can tell, is when I get up, I take my vitamins, I get in the shower, normally after I've exercised, and I get in the shower, and I come in here after only drying my hair kind of slightly and combing it down, and then I put this on, and then what happens is that it curls around the headband of the headphones, and it just curls up and just forms this kind of shell over that. I have no idea. It drives me crazy. Hey guys, FunnyGuyTimmy here again for another video on CastingCallClub.com, the website. I talked about this one probably about 3 times thus far. The past videos, I think I kind of talked about my experience on it just in general with the website. And then the last one that I did, I broke it down more specifically towards 6 things-ish, six-ish things for someone who's auditioning on the website to do or keep in mind or change in order to get more auditions, more or less. Basically, how to audition better on the website. From what I've noticed, there's a lot of common mistakes, and so I just made a video on that end. This time, I wanted to do a video on the other side of that. Someone who's hosting auditions. Someone who's actually putting out a casting call instead of the person who's responding. There's a lot of things, and I know a lot of this is because a lot of the people on the website have never really done this before on this large a scale, the kind of scale that they're trying to tackle. And this platform does basically, it's pretty open. It's pretty open towards how you can set up your auditions. It's not structured as specifically. It's more like it's a little bit similar to a Facebook post. Like you can post a lot of information wherever you want it in there. And there's a lot of things that people are doing when hosting auditions that is kind of hurting not only the website, but their chances of getting high quality voice actors. And so I wanted to kind of cover some of those things. Again, this is not bashing the website, and this is not bashing the people who are hosting auditions on there. This is kind of from my experience of both being a voice actor and someone who's hired talent, both in films and in voice acting. This is the kind of stuff that I would do or I would change to possibly help you guys. These are the things that I would suggest to help you guys improve your audition hosting. Side note, this is probably one of the worst kind of shirts to wear when doing voiceover. It's just horrible. I'm going to be hearing that the whole time. So the first thing that I want to put out there, the first thing that I would like to say for if you're hosting auditions, the first thing that you really need to include in the information. Now, again, this isn't really going to be in any particular order. There isn't like a most important and a least important. These are all relatively equal in importance. There might be some that are more important, but these, for the most part, these are kind of things that I see commonly done. And if you change it, add it, improve it, keep it in mind, you'll probably have a better experience, and you'll probably get in touch with better voice talent. And the first thing would be including the number of words that you're asking them to record. A lot of the times I'll see gigs on there and there's no information as far as how much work this is going to be. There's nothing involving how much time is going to be recorded in total length. There's nothing involving how many words are going to be recorded. Those are equally important. For me, the total number of words is more important because some projects I get through faster and some projects I get through slower. It just depends on the type of work or the type of read. If it's like Old English, obviously it's going to take me longer. If I'm doing like Shakespeare, it's going to take me a little bit longer to memorize it and get it down because I'm not comfortable talking like that. I'm not comfortable portraying that kind of character and speaking in that way. If it's a more contemporary, modern dialogue text, meaning it's written in a way that I would actually say it, it's going to take me less time. So if you just put in like how much time it's going to take to record it, that's your perception. That's not my perception. So I would say definitely include in the character description how many words are going to be included in this character. It's also really, really frustrating when I find out that a side character has more lines than some of the other more major characters. Like if it's just an extra character and you find out it's a lot of words, but the character is not really that important to the story, so that's why you include him as kind of a side character or an extra character, but he has more words than minor characters. It's really, really frustrating, especially if the person's getting paid, and the person's getting paid less than someone who's a minor character or a major character or a side character. Being an extra character and recording more words is something that you don't want them to have to do. If they're an extra and they're getting paid the least or not getting paid at all, it should be the fewest number of words. It should be the least amount of work. So including the number of words would definitely help someone decide whether or not this role is for them and get them ready to how much work they're going to have to do. The next thing would be having a really, really good description of the character and not just teenager, this is their name, Southern accent. That doesn't help anyone at all. What's their personality like? What kind of character are they? Give some more details. Do they like music? What kind of music would they like if they liked it? Are they quick to anger? This kind of stuff. Put in some more information. You don't have to go all out and write a full synopsis of the character, but we need more than just accent and age. That really doesn't help all that much, especially when the sample script, the dialogue that's given, is really vague, which brings me on to my next thing. Don't have the sample be really vague. Don't have it the lines that are throwaway lines, not, hey, you over there. Include some lines that are a little bit more telling of the character. Lines that would define the character a little bit more. If they're someone who's caught up as like a third wheel in a relationship, have the sample line have something to do with that, to give the person auditioning an idea of what this character might be going through. It helps them understand the character, and if they understand the character, you're going to get a better audition and a better performance. Just throwing in random small lines is really, really going to... You're not going to get the best performances, and then you're not going to be able to pick the right person for the job. If you give them a sample of the script that has more detail in there, it's going to be more helpful. But don't give them a lot. I also see some on Casting Call Club where it's basically their entire script. Don't do that. Don't put their entire script on there. And if you guys are auditioning and you see it's a long script and it feels like it might be the whole character, don't audition for that. There's a good portion of people out there that post full scripts as sample scripts in hopes that someone will audition for free, and then they'll just be able to take that audition and then just run away with it. The unfortunate truth is that happens a lot. It actually happens a lot. Not that much that it's an occupational hazard, but it is something that you should be aware of. So watch out for stuff like that. And if you're hosting auditions, don't do stuff like that. First of all, someone auditioning shouldn't be work. It shouldn't be that much work. You basically shouldn't be expecting them to do as much work as they would doing the audition as they would for the actual job, because then it's like, why do it twice? The next thing would be not having a sample in the sample script in the audition that has nothing there. I see this tons where someone will just write in, say whatever you feels right, or say something that you think the character would say. Here's the problem. I don't know the character, and neither do any of the other voice actors, especially if you give them a really vague description of the character and no picture to describe them. They don't know the character like you do. Why don't you come up with something that isn't in the script that would be something that the character might say just to fill in that third line? If you can't, just leave it blank. Just leave it blank. If you have 2 really good sample lines for them to audition for, just leave it like that. If you can't think of another one, don't put something like that. Come up with something on your own in there. That's ridiculous. That's stupid. That shows amateurness. It shows ignorance. It shows that you don't really know what you're doing. You might not know what you're doing, but you don't want to come off like that. You don't want to show people that you don't know what you're doing. The next thing that I would say to try to include in the audition process, especially considering CastingCallClub makes it really easy to upload a video, whether directly or through a link. I think it's mostly just through a link. Actually shoot a video. If you don't have a sample of the project, like you don't have an animatic or you don't have a portion that's already been recorded and rendered or whatever, talk to them. Record a video of yourself talking to them and telling them about the project. Number one, it's going to allow the people who are auditioning to get to know you. Number two, it may be easier to explain through your words coming out of your mouth rather than typing it down. There may be a translation, not necessarily like a language translation, but just a translation error in explaining the project, writing it out, and someone might not understand the project. If you say it with your own words, facing the camera, in whatever way that you feel comfortable, it will allow less error in translation. It will help to communicate your idea and your feelings towards the project. That's the kind of stuff that I try to do. When I am looking for other voice actors or other actors, I try to, number one, talk to them in person if I can, and number two, shoot a video if it's voice acting, and then talk to them through the video. I want them to get to know me. It's very, very important. Don't have a disconnect with the people auditioning, and don't have a disconnect with the people that you end up hiring or working with. Don't communicate only through Discord, that's super popular, or emails. Talk to them through Skype, talk to them through phone, whatever. Let them get to know you personally, not through a third digital typed out medium. The next thing would be try not to engage in the comments. Especially, this website is kind of weird with its social media style comments and thumbs up kind of thing. I try not to engage in that at all. I will often, if I like it, I'll give it a thumbs up to remind me later if I haven't already downloaded the raw MP3 or WAV file and saved it in a folder. I might do that. But what I might do if I need to communicate with them, or let's say there was someone who auditioned and I liked their performance, but I thought they were too close to the mic, and so I couldn't really tell what they could do. It wasn't the sound that I was going for. I liked their performance and I liked their voice, but something about mic placement just threw it off. And I thought if they had tried again with mic placement, they would have a better audition. So I would private message them. Try to communicate only through private messaging. And that way, there's no favoritism, there's no nepotism, there's no fight or struggle or people trying to earn your likes and dislikes or earn your communication. If you need to communicate with them, communicate through the private messaging. Don't communicate with them in the comments. If you do, then you're going to have to do that with everyone. You need to show everyone with equal respect. Definitely don't post anything negative in the comments. You're going to come off as a jerk. You're going to come off as just some douche or someone who's pretentious. Especially if you're not doing that with everyone, then it's going to be unfair, and that person's going to, maybe they'll quit. Maybe they'll give up. Maybe even if you hire them, they're not going to do a good job for you. Leave the comments out. You can give it a thumbs up because I don't really think anyone could tell about the thumbs up thing. But if you're going to talk to them, if you're going to communicate with them, private message them. I do that all the time. I'll give them some tips or some pointers, or I'll give them some positive encouragement or something like that. Or I'll ask them questions like, what kind of mic were you using? What kind of space were you in? Just to kind of get a little bit more information. Someone I might be on the fence of, if I find out more information and I find out, oh, okay, this is why the performance was a little bit off. Maybe if they fixed that, it would be better. That's why I do that. So private message them, don't comment. And the last thing that I'll say, if I come up with more for later, I will do another video. Same thing with the auditioning. If I come up with more questions or more ideas for how to improve it, I will post it in a different video. But the last one here that I will say is paying people. Now, I know not everyone can pay voice actors. I know not everyone, you're probably doing this for just a fan dub and you can't make money off of it because someone else owns the rights to it, or you're doing a machinima, which is basically the same problem. And so you're not making any money off of it, so you can't pay anyone. That's totally fine. My suggestion is, don't pay anyone. It would be better for you to not pay someone for the role if it's a free project than to pay them $5. I know people will do work on Fiverr for $5, but don't. Basically, when you put an amount of $5, especially when it's a lead role, and you put $5 on there, and then the supporting role and extras are nothing, just make it all nothing. It's coming off extremely amateur. People would rather do work for free in a really good project that they would enjoy, knowing that they would get a demo or a sample or a piece of body of work that they can show off for later, than to be paid a very small amount. I would say on this platform, a minimum of $25. I know even still that's too little, but a minimum of $25. If you can't pay them $25 for a role, don't even worry about it. You're still going to get people to audition. Guaranteed. Now, I know you're thinking, well, I want better people to audition, so... I don't know why I'm doing the dumb voice. I want better people to audition, so I have to put some amount of money on the thing. The people that are on this website are doing voiceover because they love doing voiceover. They're not doing voiceover because they're trying to make money. Not yet. This platform may get to that point at some point where it may become an actual business platform where people can actually add to their revenue off of it. But right now, it's mostly for fun. It's mostly for people who want to just have fun doing voices and fun doing online projects. So don't worry about paying them. If you can't pay them enough to make it actually fair to do the work, then don't worry about it. I pay, I think, a minimum of $50 if it's a character that has 20 to 50 words. I try to do that. And that's for projects that I'm not making money off of. That's for projects that I'm not getting paid after finishing. That's mostly just parodies or fan dubs and stuff like that. If it's a project that I'm getting paid, I try to pay them more, but I do at least a minimum of $50. Now, if it's an extra voice where I just need someone screaming in the background, I may do that one for free. I may offer that one as a free gig, and they get, obviously, credit and all that kind of stuff. But I try not to do anything less than 50. It really, not only does it downgrade the quality of the project that you're working on and shows that it really should have just been free, it's deceptive. $5 is really not all that much. I know I'm kind of going a long time on this one, but the whole being paid thing is kind of why CastingCallClub isn't higher in people's respects. It isn't a more renowned platform because there are lots of people who are offering $5, $10, $20 gigs when they really should be free, when they really should just be free, which is fine. If you want to do free work, that's fine. But if you're going to pay them, it should be a fair amount. So be honest with people. If you can't pay them, it's fine. I've done some stuff on there that was totally fun, and I just did it for free. There's actually some people that wanted to pay me $5, and I told them just keep it. I'll just do it for free. And I do that sometimes because it's fun. That's why we do it. So don't worry about the whole paying them if you can't really pay them. That's kind of it for that one. I'm sure there are tons of other things that I could talk about on this subject, but I want to kind of keep it within like 5 or 6 things like last time. If more comes up, or if you guys have any questions, I'll talk about them next time. Let's make this a series. Let's just do a whole bunch on Casting Call Club. Now, again, my goal is not to discourage people from using Casting Call Club. My goal is not to make fun of or talk bad about Casting Call Club. My goal is to help people grow and help people understand more from different perspectives, more from a more professional perspective, as well as amateur. I feel like amateur and professional can work on this same platform. Totally. I actually see tons of video games and cartoons on here that they pay well. And there are some professionals that have found this website and they've actually started publishing their auditions on this because they do know that there are some really good voice talent for character work on this platform. And I want that to grow. I really do. I'm hoping that we can kind of develop more of a better understanding of the industry in general. And I really want people who are starting at the bottom to be able to work their way up and not stay at a stagnant level of experience. I want for everyone to constantly be increasing their performance and their experiences, and I want everyone to grow and develop quicker and faster so that we can really get this to where we want it to be. So that's basically why I'm doing this. So if you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, you thought I was being too harsh, give it a thumbs down. That's totally fine. Subscribe if you're new. You can find my email down below. Ask me any questions if you want some personal questions answered that you don't feel like leaving in the comment section below. And until next time, peace.